Welcome to Spoop Squad, the podcast that watches horror films that go flop in the night. I am Jared, and I'm here with...
Well, it's none of your business, but I'm Nick.
I'm Nathan.
Nathan, you sound so depressed.
I'm sad because Nick stole my joke that I made earlier before we started recording.
No. I've had this joke planned since we watched this movie, and when you said that, I was like, I'm so glad I get to go before you introduce myself because I knew you were going to try and make it and say it was yours.
I'm Nathan.
I had it first.
I'm Nathan, none your business. That's my wrestling name.
It's cute.
So you dress up as a nun?
Yeah.
Nice. So this week we watched The Nun.
We watched The Nun
on HBO.
And The Nun is supposed to be a part of the Conjuring series.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Just pointing it out.
Okay.
No, I mean...
I think most people know that it's part of the Conjuring series.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's
movies.
supposed to be. It definitely is. There's a tie-in at the end. 100%.
I didn't until the beginning of the movie.
Really?
I didn't know.
Well, now you know. So this movie is from 2018. It is labeled as a horror mystery thriller, and it's rated a 5.4 out of 10. Nick, why don't you hit us with the synopsis?
A priest with a haunted past and a novice on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate the death of a young nun in Romania and confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da-da-da.
Nun, nun, nun.
I mean, if that's how you want to present the synopsis, that's fine.
I'm going to go with that.
That's the best we're going to
I really
get.
wanted to put nun like in emphasis in case people weren't ready for that going in to the movie.
I think they're prepared, considering
I
the name of the movie is
You have
The
way
Nun.
more faith in people than I do.
Well, you got to believe in your audience, Nick. So,
Do you?
yeah, you do.
I do.
Oh, yeah, me too, guys.
So let's go ahead and jump into our one quick thing. Nathan, what's your one good thing about this movie?
My one good thing about this movie is that it ties into the much better Conjuring movies.
Okay, but is that really about this movie specifically, or is
Yes.
that just saying like,
Yes.
oh no, the series of movies is pretty good. It's just this one.
Well,
is
it
not
was a
great.
surprise to me, so it was a good thing because I
Okay.
very much, especially the first Conjuring movie, was dope.
Yeah, no, the first one was really good.
Yeah, I'm going to back Nathan up here because I didn't really much care for Thor 2, but it brought in one of the Infinity Stones. So, I liked it because of that. It tied into the whole universe.
So you like The Nun because Thor?
No, it ties
is
into
part
the
of the
universe.
universe.
It builds the universe. I didn't like Thor 2, but it built into the overall MCU. So
Okay.
And
that's
this,
why I like this. It builds into the Conjuring universe.
yeah, the Conjuring cinematic universe.
Yeah, I didn't think that was too much of a
CCU.
stretch.
The CCU.
Yes. TM.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they already got that.
But if not, let's jump
If not,
on it.
TM.
Yeah.
Jared, do you want to go first?
Oh.
Well, second, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So my one good thing about this movie is that it was an actual higher budget movie, and the cinematography was actually really good.
It was really good. Agreed. Nick, what's your one good thing?
There is a scene where I don't really remember exactly why because I was much more focused on the radio. There's an old school radio that turns on, and it reminded me of the Brave Little Toaster, and one of the characters was the radio, and that was my shit growing up, and it was like the exact same model, and I got really excited.
So it's the Brave Little Radio.
All right, yeah.
It would have to be brave to be in this convent.
That is fair. What happened to the toaster? Why is he here without him? Oh, no.
Toasters on Mars. Did you?
Oh, that's right. They
Yeah.
did make that.
Yeah.
No, I only saw the first one. I never saw the one where they went to Mars.
Yeah, they go to Mars.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see that. That
Yeah,
would have
it's
ruined
okay.
it.
So one thing that we do have for this movie that we don't have typically is a budget. This movie they say the estimate budget was about $22 million to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it grossed $53 million in the opening weekend, I think.
That's pretty good.
I would say largely tied to the fact that it was tied to the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, that's definitely why.
Also, the trailers for this actually look scary. Like,
I
this
will
is a
give you
movie
that,
that
yeah.
I legit wanted to see.
Yeah, this is why we forced Jared into this.
Yes.
He fought us hard.
He did fought us hard.
Well, let me explain why I kind of fought it at the beginning. Is because whenever we first sat down to discuss this podcast, we were talking about the Netflix and Hulu's and Amazon Prime and Shudder as being the streaming services that we would use, and not everybody splurges for HBO. And HBO is typically going to be higher budget movies and TV shows, where Hulu and Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Shudder are not specifically that. Like, I feel like whenever we first started this show, we were talking more along the lines of B movies instead of just every movie. But with that being said, I do like the idea of doing more well-known movies so that everybody can get the idea of if it's really worth watching or not.
Yeah.
So HBO Go.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any particular point you had there, Jared. And you know how I like to disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, why don't you hit us with that kill breakdown?
Well, alrighty there, bud. So number one, so like right at the start of the movie, there's two nuns, and one of them just kind of gets dragged into the darkness. She had a name.
It flashed on the screen for a minute.
Yeah, that was the second time we watched it to like catch up.
Well, let's say this. It didn't just flash on the screen just because the movie wanted it to. We had the closed captioning on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the closed captioning on, which
makes this movie so much better. I'll just go out and say that.
Yeah, I will suggest watching this with the closed captioning on.
It did add something. I won't disagree. And y'all know how much I like to do that.
We would not have known how many people in this movie used Yelp if it wasn't for the closed captioning.
They did Yelp a lot. Number two, Sister Victoria. Almost immediately after the first nun gets dragged into the darkness, she jumps out of a window and hangs herself. That was it. So, we're going to go to some honorable mentions. All of the rest of the nuns in the castle die in a vision. Then,
so do they really count as deaths if they're
that's
just
why
a vision?
I'm giving them honorable mentions because we had two in the whole movie. And then there was all the nuns that died. Then there was a flashback to an earlier exorcism where a dude named Daniel dies during the exorcism.
Damn it, Daniel.
And then...
Daniel, bringing it back with them white vans.
When they're at the bar... when Frenchie is at the bar, they mention that one of the villagers' daughters kills herself.
Yeah,
or she hangs herself like the nun did.
Yeah, but she did it in the barn.
Yeah. But yeah, she still hangs herself like Sister Victoria did. But since, I don't know, I thought throwing in some honorable mentions since we only had two. I mean, they were mentioned in the movie. Because let's keep that kill count high.
You know what? I do want to say this. There is one death that you are completely forgetting.
If you say the death of comedy again, I'm going to fight you right now.
No, it's even better.
It's not the death of dance, because that happened in Tragedy Girls.
Not the death of dance. It's the death of Sister Irene's sex life. Because she wasn't a nun at the beginning of the movie.
She was,
but then she takes the vows.
Well, okay.
At the end of the movie, so now she is a nun.
I'm gonna have to say that probably if she was that really serious about getting laid, she could, renounce.
Oh,
her
come on,
vows.
man! Frenchie was definitely trying to hit that.
I mean, to be fair,
he gave her the
she
kiss of
did
life.
She did this because she thought she was going to die. Like, we don't know for sure that she is 100% on these vows. I mean, she hadn't taken them yet. She did it when she was forced to.
She wasn't forced.
No, she was definitely asked if she wanted to take the vows, and she was like, "Yeah."
She was in a very serious situation with a demonic nun thing coming to kill them all.
Well, she wanted to take her vows because she saw the visions, and she said that they were miracles from God, and that's why she knew.
You guys paid attention to this movie?
Yeah.
I super missed that part. So okay, my bad. I still stick with she could break her vows if she wanted to really get some of that
I mean,
Frenchie.
she could.
I mean, yeah.
She wants some of that French kiss.
Frenchie was cute, dude. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, he was.
a couple glasses of wine,
He was
some
a French-
nutmeg. Who knows?
He was a French
Some
Canadian.
nutmeg?
What nutmeg's the thing?
Nutmeg. Who knew?
Yeah,
I don't remember him having nutmeg.
He had it. Trust me.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, not a lot of deaths in this movie, but
And that's okay.
yeah, I mean, not every movie has to have a lot of them to.
I think that's the one thing that it did fairly well, or one of the things that it did well is that like it didn't just have a slaughter fest, and it was set up where it could have.
Yeah, and the deaths
Yeah.
meant something.
Yeah,
The deaths were actually plot points.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was put together really well.
It was put together really well.
Yeah. I won't argue that.
Man, you were just non-confrontational this episode. What is wrong? Are you okay?
Wait for it.
All right, so I guess we're going into ridiculous moments.
Yes,
Wait,
most definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, I want to start off by saying that the thing that they use to kill the evil demon nun was a Christmas ornament that held the blood of Christ in it.
Mm-hmm. It's something that looks a lot like the holy hand grenade.
Yes.
Yeah.
From
I was
Monty
gonna say it
Python.
if you didn't.
Yeah.
It was a really over the top Fabergé egg.
The number of the counting shall be 3. It was so bad. Or good, because it was holy.
Also, like just before then, you had all of the nuns with sacks on their heads with like blood stains on them, and that was very much like a Silent Hill ripoff.
I can't weigh in on this.
Yeah,
because you
so-
showed me this scene, but I haven't seen the whole movie, so.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. It does seem like in that scene it was taken directly from Silent Hill.
They just didn't do like the jerky like
They kind of did,
dance
though.
motions. There was like a jerky head motion, and then they all just kind of started walking around like a fucking drill team.
Yeah.
They all just started like marching away like a drill team. It was really funny.
And then when they march away, so in this same scene, after the jerky nuns walk away,
Jerky
Wait!
nuns. Like they're-
Wait, can we make that a thing like the Easter Bunny, but with beef jerky and nuns?
the jerky nuns.
Oh no! Because immediately what I thought of was the Jerky Boys, and I was thinking of the Jerky Nuns doing prank calls.
Yes, I love all of it.
The
Let's
Jerky
do all of
Boys. That sounded like a, I don't know, Cinemax late night special or something.
Oh, I'm gonna introduce you to something after the show.
Oh.
Oh,
You're gonna
good luck
love
with
it.
that.
I am so sorry you guys won't get to see this.
So whenever the nuns walk away, you get Sister Irene standing in the middle of a pentagram, and she got that full Michael Jackson lean going.
Yeah, Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
She's got that Smooth Criminal. It was funny. I enjoyed this. Is that I started singing Smooth Criminal, the
Mm-hmm.
and then when Michael Jackson screams, and what I was singing is right when she screamed, and it was perfect timing. So for everybody at home, if you watch this movie, definitely do that, and you will enjoy this movie more.
When I looked up trivia, that was actually... I'm not even going to try. I'm just
Did they use the actual like?
No.
You know, Michael Jackson had a patent on those shoes to be able to do that.
Yeah.
To
yeah,
do that
because
for
it
the
like hooked in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's probably what they used in this. No hooks and wires.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sister Irene was cut.
I don't
She
buy
had a
that.
dancer's.
Sister Irene got that lean.
Yeah, she got that dancer's body.
Okay, when Father Burke goes running out because he can't find Sister Irene,
Sister Irene.
he goes running out onto the grounds looking for her, and then he sees this grave that has been dug up, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude? That wasn't dug up earlier. shit ain't right. And then, of course, he falls into it, right? And then...
Because damn Daniel barfed a snake at him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Damn
Yeah,
Daniel
yeah,
barfed
yeah,
a
yeah,
snake
So
at him
wasn't-
and he fell in the pit.
He wasn't trying to find Sister Irene. He was trying to find the kid.
Yeah, he was
that
going after damn Daniel.
Yeah, that died
That's right.
when he was trying to do the
Oh,
exorcism.
Sister Irene came looking for him later. That's what I was mixing those up.
Yeah.
He's damned Daniel.
Damned Daniel.
TM. So
We did it.
well, so the kid barfs the snake at him, and he's obviously like, I don't like snakes. So he falls into.
That's what he did?
Yeah. He
was
falls into the.
He went full
into the-
Indiana Jones.
Into the casket, and then all of a sudden, all the dirt is on top of, like, it is completely resealed, and I was thinking, as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, if you're trying to scare your audience, I think that they thought all of a sudden the dirt was just completely resealing the grave would be scarier than, I don't know, have a shot of him in the casket and you hear all of the dirt falling on top. I feel like that would be a little bit scarier, because if you're going to get buried alive, like, you're not, like, you're going to hear that dirt coming onto the casket, and you're like do that scene. I think that would have been a lot better. This was
Plus, when he's like ringing the bell and they pan the shot back, it definitely looked like something out of the Addams Family.
Yeah, it really did. It had like some kind of comedic feel to it for some reason.
Yeah, it looked almost Tim Burton, like it was overly fake.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. And that is my in-depth thought on it. My analysis. I don't know. It felt like there was a lot of things this movie definitely did wrong, and that scene I thought was pretty good, but they could have done better.
Yeah, like it looked like it was just full 10 years of growth over this.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Coffin.
It was immediate, and it would have been. I think it would have been creepier to just have the dirt. You hear it, and him in there like freaking out, like, "Oh shit, this is actually happening right now."
Yeah.
You know what was scarier than that?
Everything else. About
Frenchie's
this movie.
neckerchief.
Yeah, I was afraid of.
I'm
afraid of fashion.
Oh, here's the thing: is how did this guy have on a neckerchief the whole time that they're in this convent, this like haunted castle or whatever, and nothing at any point grabbed it and tried to choke him with it?
That's a fair question. But first, I got to say, the reason why he wears that, vampires.
Oh yeah, because he's in Romania.
Yeah.
They're in Romania, and it's got little cloves of garlic in it.
And the nun looks kind of like a vampire too.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, like a Bram Stoker. Yeah, got like all the pointy teeth.
All of them, not just the two. So,
Like if you took Gary Oldman and you put him in a nun's habit and had him dressed up also with the face makeup from Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Wait,
then absolutely that would be it.
was Gary Oldman in that?
Gary Oldman was Dracula.
Yeah, I was putting that together. I never realized that was Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Holy shit. I'm not even kidding right now.
And that is why Bram Stoker's Dracula is a movie that we will never like talk about as a subject for one of our episodes.
I have to go rewatch it now because I had no idea that was Gary Oldman.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think.
okay, so fun trivia facts.
Oh yeah, I love these.
You love the trivia facts. So the girl who plays Sister Irene is the younger sister of the woman who played Lorraine Warren.
Who is Vera Farmiga, by the way. Huge fan, just so y'all know.
Nick is a huge fan.
I absolutely am.
Okay.
Seriously, like, she's fucking awesome. She was in Up in the Air, which is one of my favorite movies. She is his mother in Bates Motel.
Yeah.
And she was actually in The Departed. She played both of she was their psychiatrist in The Departed. Hey, let's talk about how when Father Burke and Sister Irene show up to Frenchie's house, and he's like, they knock on the door, and he like wakes up.
Oh yeah,
he seems like he's hungover. Maybe like he's definitely like, he's out. he's
Yeah.
knocked the fuck out of sleep, and he wakes up and he's all like, "Wah,"
And he's
they
in
come to
long
the door.
underwear.
Yeah, and he comes to the door, and they're like, "Hey, we're here to like, talk to you about the castle." And the nun, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to feed the fucking goats," and just like walks out and
just starts feeding the goats.
And it's like they're like, we need this character to do something instead of just standing here because we know our dialogue sucks. So let's have him feed goats.
I gotta say this, Nick. That was a dead-on French Canadian accent.
Thank you.
You sounded just like him.
Thank you.
That also leads into another ridiculous moment that I enjoyed. Was that they tried to make a joke by like Frenchie's leading them to the castle, and so they take their luggage and they put it on the back of a truck that he walks them to, and he didn't stop them from putting their luggage on the truck. But when the truck drove away, he like whistled and like had them stop because they realized that he was going to take them there on a horse and cart.
He's a scam artist, and he decided, since at this point he'd been trying to sleep with Sister Irene pretty obviously, he was like, if I steal their luggage, like my chances decrease by, I don't know, a lot. So obviously he whistled, for the truck driver to stop. I think that was his plan, right?
I don't
No.
I know.
I'm going to
I
say
think
no.
No.
He was definitely hitting on Sister Irene.
Oh, no, he definitely was.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're with me there, guys. Let's walk through
But then
this.
he realized that she was working to be a nun. She was a novice.
Well, the thing is that ever since we all left paradise, we're all sinners.
True.
So, what's up now, Nathan?
I know. Happy Easter.
I want to bring up the fact that if a nun is jumping from like 3 stories up and has very heavy furniture that stops her from falling all the way to the ground, I feel like it's going to snap her head off of her body.
Yeah, it was a very long drop, and I think that her head should have popped off. But what was also great about that scene was when she's standing there looking over her shoulder and you see the scary nun coming down the hallway, there's this giant wooden cross on the wall, and it's just very slowly turns upside down, but you can see it kind of catching on the concrete, like the bricks, and it's just slowly kind of turning and shaking, and it was so bad and cheesy. I loved it.
I mean, that's not the only time that does that either, because
it
it happens with Sister Irene as well. So
Yeah.
at least twice in this movie, you get that same effect.
Yes, and it's very bad. It's a bad effect.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all practical. Somebody standing behind the wall turning it.
Yeah, and I loved it because it was so terrible. Nick, what you doing?
I was Googling decapitation and hanging, and I'm pretty sure I'm on like a suicide watch now. Because I got a lot of like suicide prevention hotlines.
So, Nick, let me be first to say welcome to the list.
Yeah, it's like I just really want to know, because when you said that, I was like, I'm actually really curious. Like, what's the distance required? And now it's like when I typed it in, it's all. Please don't do this. Call us instead.
Please don't do this.
I want to no, this is for a podcast, dude.
There definitely needs to be that option on Chrome where you can go, this is for a podcast, dude.
I am researching this.
It's like incognito mode, but it's this is for a podcast, dude mode.
So I gave up. Because after rewording it 4 times and getting the same shit, I'm like, I'm done. I don't care.
I'm on so many watch lists now.
Yeah.
So Sister Irene, she drowns for a split second at the end of the movie.
Also, where did that water come from?
I think it's just there.
It wasn't there before, and now there's just
I
this
think
whole
it
room
was
is filled with water.
I don't think we've ever been in that room in the entire movie until that moment where she falls into the water. Or let me rephrase: she's thrown into the water.
Yeah, she did. She
Well,
get thrown in that water.
But they had shown where the opening to hell was before, and I don't think there was ever water whenever they showed it. Like that was the first time that the characters had been there.
Yeah. That's the point. Like every other time that we've seen that, it was like a backtrack into the history of what was going on instead of it being in the moment.
Also,
Right.
how did that water get there? Because if it's coming
That's-
from hell,
that's a
because
very good
hell
question.
is hot.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking. And also, it'd be very
Evaporation.
smoky. It'd
That
be very,
nun
yeah,
very
it'd be,
well.
It
oh,
would
it'd
be smoky because
steamy.
that water would be on fire.
Yeah, it'd be steamy as fuck, dude. It'd be like a sauna in there.
Oh yeah.
So everybody'd be really relaxed. I don't think the nun would be trying to kill anybody. She'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and sweat it all out. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of these demons.
That explains that. It explains why when everybody left, when they all got out of that room, why their pores were so clean and open.
How about that moment when Frenchie goes back into the graveyard area, and the nun who killed herself.
She drops out of a tree.
She drops out of a tree and falls on top of him and looks like a zombie nun all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And starts chasing him, and then he goes into the area that is just surrounded with crosses, it just propped up in the yard. And she obviously doesn't enter in because of all the crosses, and she goes away. And then Frenchie just grabs one of the crosses, like, I'm taking this. And then you see him later on in the bar, and he's got this cross just sitting next to him.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Okay, so that scene is when I realized that was the turn for me, because the movie was trying to be pretty creepy, and then when that happened, I was like, oh no, this is going to be up in your face, ghost, demon, zombie, whatever, right up in your face, not creepy doors closing shit like that. When that fucking zombie nun dropped on top of him, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. Okay. Okay.
It's gonna be one of those. You know what I mean.
You know what I
It
mean.
wasn't like The Conjuring at all.
No, it was
with
not.
that.
No. Because The Conjuring was very serious and a lot of suspense.
Yeah, I think one of the only times you really ever, I mean, the first time you really saw the thing in the spirit in The Conjuring was when she
in
was
the basement.
Well, but you saw it in the window first, and that was
that's
the
right.
first not a fucking zombie nun dropping on top of Frenchie, and then him grabbing a cross and running away. It was a very different feel.
And then he still goes back. If
Well,
that were
he's
to
the
happen to me,
hero.
I would not go back.
Well, that's why you're not a hero, Jared.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I would just be like, fuck you, I'm
He should've
gone.
Strap that shit to his back. Because let's see that zombie nun come after him when he's wearing the cross, dog.
Well, he ended up wearing a cross at the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, but
it was upside down on
no,
the
I
back
think
of his neck,
it was
though.
part of him.
It became a part of him.
Yeah,
Also-
spoiler, he gets possessed.
Did y'all notice that every time the
Because the nun barfed a snake into his mouth.
Yeah.
well, no, but every time that the cross turned upside down, that it was like it was an effect on time. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna try and convince you of this.
So any other ridiculous moments that you can think of?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's discuss how at the end of the movie, she gets the ornament, Sister Irene, and the nun has her in this water, and she's like, "I'm gonna drown you, bitch," and she's drowning her, right? And then
she holds it up above her head.
and she so she picks up Sister Irene. She's like, "I won, I guess." Not really sure what the nuns. I guess she was trying to possess her.
She takes the ornament and she's like, "Oh yeah, gonna put this on my tree this year."
Well, yeah, but she's holding up Sister Irene.
Yeah.
And I guess her plan is to.
Maybe she's gonna barf the snake into her mouth.
I don't know.
She's gonna barf a lot of snakes into people's mouths.
And she's gonna use her to escape, I guess is what the plan is.
Yeah.
And then she sees the ornament is shattered, and she's like, "Uh-oh!" And she looks at Sister Irene, and that's when, not before, Sister Irene, who has her eyes closed and is pretending like she is suffocated, is like, "Joke's on you, bitch!" and spits the fucking blood of Jesus into her face.
And the ornament is only supposed to contain a drop of blood. But she spit like a mouthful of Kool-Aid in this bitch's
Well, that's
face.
because she had been thrown through a rock wall, and that was her own blood. It was mixed in, so it was 2 things of holy blood.
Oh.
Right? Because she had just...
When was there a rock wall?
There was no rock wall. I
There
made
was
that
no
part
rock
up.
wall.
When was
I
there?
entirely
When was there a
made that
point?
up
When was
to
the?
justify this point.
I'm just curious when there was a point that this turned into American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, that's a much better show.
Yeah.
It's not as scary, though. Yeah, it felt like, I don't know, she waited a long time just to be like, got you, bitch. And I don't know, man.
She spit in her face.
Yeah.
And it's so good because that's so hood.
Sister Irene, she just spit in your face.
Sister Irene, spit in your face, mother nunner.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the ratings. Nick, what are you going to do?
I think I'm going to give it a skull. I'm really on the fence, but it had elements that were fun. Like you mentioned, the cinematography was good. Kind of
yeah,
getting to
because a
see...
major budget helps
Yeah.
that along the way. So.
Yeah, but there's still some major budget stuff that has terrible cinematography.
That's fair.
I don't know, tying into a movie that I did really like. Yeah, it was a letdown, but it was still, it had a lot of laughs in it. Yeah, I'm going to give it a skull. I'm on the fence, so yeah, I'm giving it a skull, but it's worth watching. Probably not a rewatch.
Jared, what are you going to give it?
So I'm actually going to not give this a skull.
Oh.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because the moments that we're laughing at it, they weren't meant to be laughed at. It's not like some of these other B movies that we watch that know what it is and know that they have to have some kind of humor in the movie for you to actually enjoy it. This is supposed to be a major budget movie. It's supposed to be either A, scary, or know what the audience really wants, and they want some funnier moments, but it doesn't seem like they put those in there specifically to be humor moments. So I'm not going to give it a skull.
Yeah.
Fair.
Hey, Nathan.
That's my name.
What are you giving this motherfucker?
I am going to
This
give
mother nunner.
Yeah, this mother nunner.
Didn't...
I'm going to give it a skull. And the reason why is because I enjoyed it. Even it's not a good movie.
No.
I wouldn't by no means say it's a good movie, but it is an enjoyable movie, and I would watch it with another person again.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of cool tying into the whole like Conjuring, and like this is supposedly where it all started.
Yeah, like the
movie.
origin. This
is like a
like that
prequel.
element of it is cool, and yeah, your point about you're not supposed to laugh at the parts you do. That I think that bothers me less than you. I actually enjoy the moments where they're like really into it, like, yeah, this is scary, but it's not. You laugh.
like when the nun barfed the snake into Frenchie's mouth.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was great. Jared, what's the next movie we're gonna watch?
So the next movie we're going to watch is The Terrifier.
This wasn't timed to do this way, but this past week, Lorraine Warren passed away, and we didn't actually plan this to happen like this, but just kind of a coincidental thing. You know, just want to give her a shout out wherever she is. Thanks for doing stuff to make this movie happen for us to be able to watch it, Lorraine.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, big thanks. And also, thanks for listening. If you want to join in the conversation, you want to talk about Lorraine Warren or whatever, hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/The Squad Podcast. And also hit us up on Twitter at Spoop Squad.
I hope you spoop your pants.
Oh, yeah, all over. I hope you spoop your pants out of one nun's mouth into another nun's mouth, and it's got a snake. That was a high five, everybody.
Clap your butt cheek.
On the Story Song Podcast, we closely examine the story of famous story songs.
We'll walk you through the lyrics you've heard 1,000 times, but have never thought about.
Leave it to us because we overthink everything.
Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town? Why is this my job? Why is this on me now?
I didn't even like those guys.
We discuss the history of the story songs you love. Show of hands. Who here knew that Rick Springfield was Australian?
No clue.
The Wikipedia article started with, "You guys, you're not going to believe this."
The Story Song Podcast. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Forge Audio.
Dream it.
Build it.
Share it.